Yo, what's up? Bringing you that MLB The Show 19. So we're going to challenge ourselves and try to turn the Seattle Mariners into one of the greatest franchises in history. So the Mariners, they're a team that have never made it to a World Series. They never won a World Series, obviously. We're going to change all of that. This is not necessarily a rebuild series, although we obviously have to rebuild this team in the beginning to build up that foundation to make them a competitive team. But after that initial stage of rebuilding this team, we're no longer going to be rebuilding. We're going to be reinforcing this team to keep them as competitive as long as possible and try to make them into one of the greatest dynasties, not just franchise, but dynasties of all time. So the ultimate goal is not to make it to the World Series. It's not to win one World Series. It's to win multiple World Series. And that's what we're going to do. I don't know if there's like a franchise limit of how many seasons you can do, but I expect to do at least 20 seasons, 20 plus seasons of this. Each episode is going to be one season, and we're going to turn this Seattle Mariners franchise around and build a dynasty. So with that said, this is a dynasty in the making. Let's get it. So the initial options right here, GM contracts is off just because we want to be with this team more than 3 years. And then fantasy draft, everything else is pretty much off. CPU trading on, forced trades is off. We're not trying to scheme anyone, although we will be trying to scheme some teams. We're not going to force that. We're going to do everything manual. So welcome to the Mariners. Please select the task. Coaching task, player development task, general manager task. We're going to have everything on manual. We might switch it off afterwards, but I want to be in control of this team, obviously, so we'll keep that manual. Now, spring training. We can start in spring training. So let's take a quick look at the roster, see what we're working with. The biggest thing for me, I guess, is potential, because we want to build that potential up. We want to have players that have, I guess, at a minimum B potential, but definitely A potential. You know, that's the type of players we want to build around. We also got to look at the contracts. So contracts right here. Gonzalez, pretty cheap. Kikuchi, 14 mil, kind of a lot right there, but he's still a young player. He's a rookie. And how old is he? He's 27. He might not be like a elite starting pitcher to build around, but we can hold on to him for a little bit. D. Gordon for 13 mil. We probably can get rid of him. Mitch Haniger, probably the best overall player on the team. 575K, pretty cheap. You know, we might hold on to him just because he has a pretty nice contract. Santana at 2 mil. Kyle Seager at 18 mil. We're probably trading him. We're probably trading him because that's a lot of money. We can put that somewhere else. Then Wade LeBlanc, not a starting pitcher we really want to build around. Omar Narvaez, pretty cheap, but nothing that special. Vizcaíno, good relief pitcher, I guess, for the price. Bruxton, Brennan. I mean, we got a lot of players that are cheap. King Felix, 25 mil. A lot of money right there. Definitely a lot of money right there. If we can keep him for the low, we can. But I kind of want to keep him on the team just to keep him as a Mariner, but not for 25 mil. Definitely not for 25 mil. We'll let him play out this season and see how that goes. Altavia's okay. Malik Smith is okay. Actually, we got a lot of players at cheap prices. You know, we don't have that much money going into this team, to be honest. Swanson, 2.4 mil. A lot of other players that are cheap. JP Crawford, he might be a player that we could build around in a sense. You know, B potential. How old is he? He's 24. He's pretty young. So hopefully he develops for us. Then we got Moore, Austin Nola. Justice Sheffield's another player that we need him to develop and be a really good option for us. We probably will start him. You know, we want to give him some major league time and see if he can develop this year. Tim Beckham, pretty cheap option. Who else is like a really big name for us? That Shed Long. See, right here, these are probably the big guys right here. Shed Long and Kyle Lewis. Both B potential, but I feel like, or I'm hoping those two can really develop for us and be players that we build around. So those are players like we don't want to trade. Kalenic is another big one. He has A potential. Like those three right there, Kalenic, Lewis, and Long, those are the kind of guys we want to build around. And those are positions we'll keep our mind on, so we don't like draft those positions when it comes to the draft and stuff like that. Anyone else that's really big? Justin Dunn could be a big one. A potential right there. And then, do we have any other A guys? I know Logan Gilbert is a top prospect for the Mariners. So he's another one that could be really big for us. Julio Rodriguez is another guy, a potential for him. Evan White. So the Mariners, they do have some good prospects. They do have some good prospects. I feel like the first few seasons, those prospects just have to develop. And if they develop the way we want them to develop, then we have a solid team to go for the future. But obviously this first season is just a foundation year, and we're going to see where we can end up. But there's a lot of guys that I like on this team, and we'll probably have to get rid of some other guys too. So player salaries, we're at 106 mil for this year, and then 46 or 56 of that is off the table for 2020. So we have a lot to work with next year. So yeah, Felix is the most expensive, but this is his last year with the team, and we might try to re-sign him for the low. Maybe make him like a bullpen pitcher too. You know, that could be a good idea. Kyle Seager is someone that we definitely want to get rid of his contract. 18 mil. I don't think he's going to be that productive. We're going to see how these players play until the All-Star break, until the trade deadline. Then we'll make that decision. Kikuchi, he's still young, so I'm fine with having him. And then D. Gordon is another player we can maybe shed his contract. All right, so I picked up 3 sponsorships for the team. We get $40,000 per win, $75,000 per save. So hopefully we start winning early on and get those saves, because that money definitely can be big for the franchise. And then $5,000 per run. I don't know if that's a good sponsorship or not, but hopefully we can score some runs and that can help us out. So those are the 3 sponsorships that we are running with. Let me put players on the trading block. Update trading block. So for the trading block, we'll put D. Gordon. We'll see if anything comes up. And Mitch Haniger. No, not Mitch Haniger. We'll put Kyle Seager. We'll put Seager and D. Gordon on the trading block. See if anything enticing pops up. And then we'll figure out what we do with that team. With those guys at the trade deadline. Alright, so looking at some of these scouts. Let's see. I don't even know how this works. I don't know how this works, but I want him to be scouted. I want 2020 guys. I want people bang bang. You're fully scouted. I want you scouted. Alright, now let's see. You're a starting pitcher. Let's scout you. And then these guys are all pitchers. But pitchers are good. We definitely need pitchers, so we'll scout him. And then DJ Heath for left field. So scout him up. See how that goes. So opening day starting rotation, or just our lineup in general. King Felix, he's still going to be our opening day starter. We have UC Kikuchi in second in the rotation. Marco Gonzalez, Wade LeBlanc, and then Eric Swanson. In our bullpen, we got Tommy Malone, Justice Sheffield, Gerson Batista, Arodys Vizcaino. He actually might be our closer. Connor Sadzek, Anthony Bass, and Brandon Brennan. So Vizcaino should be our closer. Vizcaino's going to be our closer. The rest is fine. We got to see who performs and who doesn't this first season. Like I said, this is the foundation here. We got to see who's worth keeping and who we got to ship off. So this is our lineup. It's pretty much the same for right-handed pitchers and left-handed pitchers, but we have D. Gordon, Mitch Haniger, Daniel Vogelback, Kyle Seager, Ryan Healy, Omar Narvaez, Domingo Santana, and Malik Smith, and finally Shed Long. So that is the right-handed lineup. The left-handed lineup with a DH, D. Gordon, Haniger, Santana, Vogelback, Healy, Long, Seager, Narvaez, and Bruxton. So not that much of a change right there. We're going to sim the first, I guess, 2 months, March and April, see where we end up with this team. So sim through date. Oh, I don't want no critical situations. Absolutely not. We did win our first few games. What kind of trade is this? James Paxton from the Yankees goes to the Padres for Craig Stammen and what? What is this? That's a wild trade. So first month of the season, we're 14-18. I don't think that's that bad. I don't think that's that bad with this team. I think it could have been worse for some reason. Standing wise, where we're at right now, we're 4.5 games back, so obviously not. I mean, we're back in the standings, so I guess that's not good. I really just want to move on to the next month. So we're gonna sim May, See where we are after May. Get a win right there. Almost got a sweep versus Cleveland. We did sweep the Yankees. Got on a nice little streak right there. Then we ended up losing some big games to the A's. And now we're on a really bad losing streak. We did get an offer from the Indians. Let's view the offer. Danny Salazar for Dylan Moore. That's an interesting trade. That's an interesting trade right there. Dylan Moore. Where's Dylan Moore at? He's a third baseman. He's 26 years old. Salary's pretty low for him. Danny Salazar's not a bad starting pitcher. He's an 84 overall. He actually helps our team right now. Danny Salazar. He's still fairly young. Dylan Moore is 26. This is a tough trade, actually. I kind of like it. I kind of like this trade. This is not a bad trade. This is not a bad trade for Danny Salazar. I think I'm gonna decline it though. We might re-offer it up, but I want to see if we can get Shane Bieber for the same offer. Because if we can scheme the Indians like that and get Shane Bieber, that's a starting pitcher for the future. And he's pretty young. So we're gonna decline this offer. Alright, so after May, we are 26 and 34. I feel like we slipped up a little bit that month. We're 7.5 games, or we're just 7 games back, which I guess is not that bad, but we are 3-7 in our last 10. So we ended the month pretty poorly. I believe we did sweep the Yankees in that last month. We had a good little win streak going on. We won, yeah, we beat the Yankees. We took 2 out of 3 against Boston. And then this was a really bad skid right here versus Oakland and Minnesota. And then finishing it off pretty poorly against Oakland, Texas, and LA. So not the best month in May, but we did start off pretty good. So we got our first draft for the series, 2019 first year player draft. This is a big moment for us. What pick do we have? Wow, what pick do we have? We have the 19th pick. Okay. I don't know which player we can end up getting at 19. I know DJ Heath was a good one right there, but let's see who's a good option. Ooh, we didn't scout that good either. We did not scout this good for some of these other guys. I probably should have scouted more. I didn't know what pick we had. So we do have some accuracy right here. Our starting pitcher, Bobby Cortez, 2022 MLB estimate time. Maybe he's a good option. He looks like a good option, and we do need starting pitcher. He's only 18 years old, so that looks like a decent pick. 80 potential, which is really high. So we'll take Bobby Cortez and see what our next pick is. So round 2, we got pick 17. Let's see what we have. So there's another accuracy right here. See, the potential guys right here, these are hit or miss, I feel like. These are hit or miss, but we obviously didn't do a good job scouting. I should have scouted more lower end guys, but we're definitely going to go with someone that is young. I also don't want... Who's someone that's young that has a good ETA? You have a 65 potential. That's could be hit or miss. I'm looking at this one right here. Andres Caruso, center fielder, 80 potential, which could be hit or miss because the accuracy is obviously not good, but he has 2020 estimate time. So maybe that's a player that can pan out for us, and hopefully it is. We'll have to see. But that was our second pick in the draft. Now in round 3, we have the 19th pick. We got to hit on one of these guys. That's all I know. We got to hit on one of these guys. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to go with someone that has good MLB ETA and someone that's pretty young. We'll take the risk right here. Take an 18-year-old starting pitcher, MLB ETA of 2020. So, like I said, hopefully one of those 3 guys end up panning out for us and we can get someone good. Round 4, pick 19. See what options we have right here. I still want to go with people that are young. 18 or 19 have good ETA. Larry Vigil, another center fielder. Do we want to take center field? I guess we can. That is a position that we are pretty thin on. So we can take that risk and hopefully one of those center fielders actually have the ETA that it says they do and they can pan out in a couple of years. But our last pick, I feel like we should go for a relief pitcher. We're going to go with another young guy. Sherwood Batista, 2023. Kind of a long time, though. Kind of a long time. Yeah, let's take him. Let's take Batista. Like I said, our scouting probably wasn't the best. And going into the next draft in the next year, we'll definitely have a different approach. Try to get some more hidden gems. I don't even know how many rounds are in the draft, to be honest. But I guess we go with a low-end guy. Actually, this guy's 2023 ETA, 80 potential. Maybe he can work out for us. Robert Fitzgerald, 20, still pretty young. He would be 23 when he enters the draft or enters the league. So looking at our draft picks, we have 86 potential for Cortez. Was he our #1 pick? I think he was our #1 pick. And then Caruso, 86 potential. That's actually not bad. Those two guys, I feel like those are solid picks. The rest of the guys look like hit or miss. 72 potential, 67, 70. Our last pick got 77 potential. So that's not bad right there. We are going to sign these guys. We might as well sign everyone because we do have the money. And maybe these guys end up developing better than what they say they will develop as. But his interest is pretty low. We'll give him 90K. And then the last guy we drafted. Wow, he wants a lot, huh? All right, so we signed all of our draft picks. I think we did okay. 3 of them look decent. 3 of them might be bust in Riggs, Vigil, and Batista. Fitzgerald might pan out. But Caruso and Cortez, I think both of their ETAs were 2020 also. So they might be coming up to the league soon. You know, those are guys that hopefully we can build around and see how they do. But I don't think we did that bad in the draft, kind of going into it empty-handed too, without really scouting. So June wasn't a bad month for us. We went on a little win streak. We definitely, I feel like we finished the month positive. We're 42 and 45 now after June. And where's that put us in? So we're 4th in the division. We're ahead of the Angels. And we're 8.5 games back. I don't think... Should we be trying to fight for the playoffs? I don't think I want to fight for the playoffs. That's a weird thing to say, but like I'm not worried about the playoffs. Let's take a look at our rotation right now. So King Felix 3-8, not looking so good. Kikuchi's injured. He's 8-5, 3.76 ERA. Marco Gonzalez 5-6. Wade LeBlanc 7-5. Eric Swanson 4-9. Not looking good for these guys. Tommy Malone is 6-3. Justice Sheffield is 6-3 was a 6.46 ERA. Brendan Brannon is 1-1, 2.87 ERA. Wow, these guys, Anthony Bass 4.01, Connor Sedzik 3.86, Jerson Batista 2.35, Arodys Vizcaino 4.67, but he has 30s. I don't know how he's hot. His ERA is pretty high. Is he getting saves? 25 saves for the season. You know, he's definitely getting those saves. But the pitching's not looking so good. The pitching is not looking so good. Maybe we move Felix Hernandez to the bullpen. And we'll toss in... We can toss in Tommy Malone. We can toss him in there. Just to let Felix Hernandez get his stuff back a little bit. So we'll switch that up. So D Gordon, not so hot, hitting 251. Malik Smith 211. Mitch Haniger 283. Keon Bruxton hitting 200. Then Daniel Vogelback 244. Omar Narvaez 272. Kyle Seager hitting 291. And then Healy 241. Crawford 271. Our averages don't look that good, but we are getting victories. They definitely switched the batting order around more than I wanted it to be, but I'm not trying to deal with all that stuff. That takes too much time. Who on our team made the All-Star game? Ooh, Danny Salazar. We should have got him. We should have got him. He's on fire. 11-2. We might have to try snaking him back. This is a deal we might be able to make. Dylan Moore, Darren Gillies for Danny Salazar. So Salazar is actually having a really nice season. He's 11-2. Made the All-Star team, I believe. He's on fire. That's a starting pitcher that can help us right now. And he's still fairly young. His contract's not that bad. If we can get this trade, definitely helps us for right now and for the future for a little bit, you know? So we're going to offer this up. We're going to take that deal. That's going to help our rotation right now. Not like the biggest name that we can get, but I feel like it helps our rotation out and we get a solid arm. We definitely get a solid arm right there. So Salazar, he might be our number one guy now. He might be our number one guy. He's just having a really nice season. See, Salazar's, he's 11-2, 2.24 ERA, having a really nice season. I think that's a trade that helps us right now and hopefully continues to develop. He's still pretty young at 29 for a starting pitcher, but he's having a good season. I thought that was a smart trade to make to get something going right now. So the NL defeated AL in the All-Star game. And then Cardinals are interesting in offering us a trade. Let's take a look at this. So Nolan Gorman and Connor Capel for Mitch Haniger. Third baseman. Let's take a look at this. Are these good prospects? If these are good prospects, we might consider it. 18 years old, a potential. Interesting. That's an interesting offer right there. He's fairly young. Who knows when he's MLB ready, though? Who knows when he's going to be MLB ready? I like the young guy, though. What about the left fielder? We got Connor. See, I'm not feeling Connor. Not feeling Connor. We're going to hold on to Haniger. We're going to hold on to him. Declined out right there. I need to trade D. Gordon. I got to figure out how to trade D. Gordon and Kyle Seager. I want to have cap space too because there's some pretty big free agents coming up this season. So I think we found ourselves a trade that definitely can work for us, not only for now, but also the future, as long as they develop the right way. But Healy, Gordon, and Bruxton for Ketel Marte, and he's pretty much the main piece, obviously. And then Taijuan Walker, Adam Jones, 3 ex-Mariners. We're trying to get him back. But Marte, we would have control for him for 5 years. Walker and Jones, they're only a year. So it's not really that bad. Jones is just a toss-in and kind of to make the contracts, the salary work out. But this could be a big deal for us and definitely help us for now and the future. So Diamondbacks accept. They accept. That's a pretty big deal. That's a really big deal for us getting Ketel Marte back on the Mariners. We were going to try doing Seager in that deal. We just couldn't get the contract to work. So now we got to find a deal for Seager, try to ship him out. So this is not a pretty trade or a trade that's going to help us in the... I mean, it kind of helps us in the future because we're shedding the contract of Kyle Seager. He has 18 mil for 3 years. We're trying to get rid of that, and this is literally the only offer I could find that we can get rid of that contract, and I don't want to have this contract until 2021, so we get this contract off our board, and then we're going to take Logan Forsythe, Sean Kelly, and a B-rated prospect in Kyle Cody. All of them are 1-year guys, so we're not really, it's just for this year pretty much, and then we shed those contracts also. We couldn't really get anything else that was better, but this is the only thing we can really get. They're gonna take that trade. We get rid of Seager. We got rid of D. Gordon. 2 of the big pieces we wanted to get rid of, we did, and I feel like we brought in some decent guys. So this is our lineup for the rest of the season. We brought up Shed Long. He went down for a little bit. Brought him back up. Also Kyle Lewis, because we needed some more players on the bench after those trades. Now we got Ketel Marte, Malik Smith, Mitch Haniger, Domingo Santana, Daniel Vogelbach, Omar Narvaez, Logan Forsythe, and Adam Jones. Like I said, these 2 guys, they're just in the lineup pretty much for the rest of the year. Then when the next season starts, they're going to be off the team. They were only 1-year contracts. So it was just to get rid of Kyle Seager's contract, which I feel like was a big deal to shed that 18 million. Now our pitching rotation looks a little better since the start of the year. We got Danny Salazar, Yusei Kikuchi, Marco Gonzalez, Taijuan Walker. For whatever reason, he wasn't even pitching in the majors for the Diamondbacks this season, so he has a fresh start. Hopefully he has some good outings for us. Then Wade LeBlanc, who he's looking all right. Felix Hernandez moves to the bullpen. Justice Sheffield, Tommy Malone, Brendan Brennan, Sean Kelly, Jerson Batista, and Arodys Vizcaino. So that's the team for the rest of the year pretty much. We're just trying to build up and hope for a good good offseason pretty much. But I'm pretty much just letting this season go on. We're not trying to compete. I feel like this, like I said, is a foundation year. We got some good pieces through the trade deadline, and we're gonna have to do something in free agency. That's the next big step. Yeah, we good with the trade deadline. What the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to the Twins? What? Like, if I could have got him, I would have went out and tried to get him. I couldn't get him though. This is crazy. Can we have a good August? We actually are winning right now. We're on a nice little win streak. Actually, we're on a too nice of a win streak. That was a good month right there. We're actually over 500 also. That's not bad. Let's not finish poor. Ought to utilize that. We kind of finished poor. We're 69 and 68 though. That's not that bad. Where are we in the standings? 12 games back. Actually, the Angels were in last. They jumped up. We're nowhere near wild card, right? Like, I wouldn't think we're in the wild card running, but I gotta double check. Wow, we're only 3.5 games back. We're only 3.5 games back from the wild card. That's actually crazy. we have a good month and we're in the playoffs. That's wild. Do we try to manage for the playoffs? Ketel Marte is hot for us. That's big. Melik Smith not looking so good. Oh man, that's not good. Domingo Santana not looking so good. Looks like Forsythe and Adam Jones, new additions to the lineup. They're doing pretty good. Let's move them up a little bit. Let's move these guys up in the lineup. What are we doing here? They gotta be playing, it looks like. We gotta make some changes. We might have a chance at the playoffs. That would be wild if we make the playoffs. Like, I do not expect to make the playoffs, but if we make the playoffs, that would be pretty crazy. Danny Salazar, 16-2. Looked like a really good trade for us. Taijuan Walker, 2-1. Not really that good. You know, not really that good right there. Should Sean Kelly be our closer? I don't know. Let's go week by week this last month. This is actually big. We're not that far back. I wish they showed the wild card in this also. But I know the A's have one of the top spots in the wild card spot. So last month of the season right here. We'll go week by week. Houston's going to be a really tough series too. Got to win right there. All right, we split with Houston. That's not bad. We're now 5 games back. That was a big series, actually. That was really big. We have Cincinnati. Why don't even... Oh, we play Oakland the last month. They're the last week. Let's see. Cincinnati's a losing team. So is Chicago's almost 500. These next 2 series are pretty big. These next 2 series are pretty big. And we get swept. We sweep one, we get swept. That didn't really benefit us at all. Yeah, we're 7.5 games back. I don't think we have a chance at the playoffs. Which is fine because I obviously didn't expect to make the playoffs. But 5.5 games back, like we got pretty close. We got pretty close without even trying, to be honest. Because that was not the goal the first season. The first season was just to build the foundation. So, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, let's see what happens right here. Like, if we get back-to-back sweeps, we good, but we got to see what happens. We took 4 out of 6 right there. Yeah, we're 5 games back, and we have Houston and Oakland. It's not happening. It's not happening. We get swept. We take 2 right there. Mariners finished the season 82-80. We at least finished above 500. That wasn't good to make the postseason. I'm fine with that. Didn't expect to make the postseason. The postseason, Houston and Boston, Yankees and Twins and wild card, and Cleveland. Then you have the Dodgers, the Nationals, Braves and Brewers, and the Cubs. Interesting. Nationals, Astros. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Looks like the Cubs are going to straight sweep. Crazy. So Cubs in the World Series. Looks like they're going up against the Astros. Astros take game 1, take game 2. Nothing that day. Game 3. Astros win the sweep. So Astros 2019 World Series champions. So Astros, they win the World Series. Looks like an interesting playoffs. Brewers beat the Braves. Cubs beat the Brewers. Cubs swept the Nationals, but the Nationals beat the Dodgers. And then Yankees beat the Twins in the wild card. They end up losing to the Indians. Then the Astros beat the Red Sox. Astros beat the Indians. Astros sweep the World Series. Robinson Cano retired, Hall of Famer. Albert Pujols retired, also in Hall of Famer. And then Ichiro. All three definitely well-deserved. All right, so exclusive negotiations. We don't have that many contracts that we can offer. Felix Hernandez has to stay in Mariner. We're kind of giving him a lower offer. 3 years, $3 million per year. I think that's fair for him. We're going to give him that offer. If he takes it, he takes it. Let's look at free agents. So we have Anthony Rendon, Garrett Cole. Those are the biggest guys. Those are the biggest guys right there. I want Garrett Cole on this team. He wants $12 million a year. He wants $25 million a year. Wow. Do we go out and get Garrett Cole? Do we just give it to him? Actually, in game, he wasn't so hot. He was not so hot in game. Why? In game, he was not so hot. Do we give Garrett Cole $144 million? Or do we get Anthony Rendon, who's also younger? Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end it right here. We have Anthony Rendon, Garrett Cole, two biggest free agents. I feel like one of those two guys, definitely a good piece to build around. And then Betances is another solid guy. He wants $38 million. So actually, that's not bad for Betances. We probably could pick Betances up just to show you guys. Garrett Cole wants over $128 million. So 25 a year. We would have to make it work out. And then Rendon, I think he wanted he wanted $22 million a year. So those are two of our biggest options. Some other free agents: Mad Bum, Donaldson, Will Harris, Jeffries, Moustakis, Keuchel, Wood, Garner, Abreu. A lot of these guys are qualified offers though, so I don't know if we would be able to get them. But there's a lot of options that we could get. But I'm going to end it right here just so I can think about it also. If we want to go after Rendon or Garrett Cole. Betances is another one I really want to get. I don't know what our money situation is looking like. We also have arbitration for Danny Salazar, Marco Gonzalez, Mitch Haniger, Taijuan Walker, Danny Santana. I probably will keep Salazar, Gonzalez, Haniger, and Walker. You know, I definitely want to keep those four on the squad. And tender contracts, we'll probably keep these guys also because I feel like these are good guys to have on our team. And then we'll probably make another trade after this season. But first season, I don't think it was that bad. You know, we finished above 500. We were a few games back. I think like 5 or 6, 7, maybe 8, something like that from the wild card. So it wasn't that bad of a first season. We got some good pieces in Ketel Marte, definitely a player we want to build around. And we also want to try getting one of the big free agents in Garrett Cole or Rendon. So that's probably the next step for season 2. But this is just the beginning, so stay tuned for the next one. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more of this, make sure to drop a like on the video, and I'm out.